Believe we are live. Please give me a moment. I'll make sure everything is working fine and we'll get started. Good. Brilliant. Okay. I think everything is working fine. Hello, my name is Ozair and welcome to today's YouTube live stream. Every weekday at 4 o'clock in the UK, myself and my wife Farzana, we log on here and talk about anything to do with Google Ads, digital marketing, online advertising, coaching, mentoring, help with your business questions or problems you may be having. So anything you would like to ask or get help with, we're here to help you and guide you. First of all, I hope you had a great weekend. And it's the first day of the week. It's a beautiful day over here in the UK. And I had a very productive and a great day so far. And I'm sure it will hopefully continue for the rest of the day. Today, I'm going to talk about Google Ads and all the jargon I have. This is aimed at mainly for the beginners who are new to Google Ads, who don't know all the various terminology, what to look at in the dashboard, because there are so many different metrics. People get confused how to set up the dashboard and what are the most important numbers and KPIs to look at. So hopefully by the end of the session, you'll get a lot better idea as to what you need to be looking at and how to read the Google Ads dashboard. If you are new over here, the format of these sessions is very informal. I'll go through all the various metrics first of all and interface, and towards the end of the session I'll log on or have a look at the comment box on the right hand side of your video, or it might be underneath your video if you are on the mobile. Please enter any questions you may have on there, and I'm going to come to each and every one of them before we sign off. So hi there, Mike. Yes, indeed, it's a gorgeous. It doesn't feel like it's a late September evening, afternoon over here. It looks like it's June or July. Hi, Education Hub. Hello, Emily. Okay. Going to log interface. I'll go back one. So this is where you will end up when you start your account. As you can see, there are no live campaigns over here, but we don't need to worry about having any campaigns live. First of all, we need to go through what the hell is all of these columns, which ones are important, which ones are not so important, and which ones are the most important, which you must look at. Because this is kind of like a cockpit of a jumbo jet plane. You've got so many bells and whistles. People get confused very easily. So I'm going to simplify this and then also explain what each one of these metrics mean and why should you bother with these. Now, what you want to do is, first of all, when you come in here and you don't see any columns, and then you might think that my dashboard is different to somebody else's. Not, because you can show the column or you can hide these columns. All you need to do, first of all, go into this columns, and you can see that you can make different column sets. I have a column set for conversions, video views, video campaign, or display campaign, because the metrics for a video campaign is different to a search campaign or to a display campaign. So you can have a different column set and save it, and you click on it, it's going to load up those column sets. I'm going to modify my column or go. So this is where you get everything you can see and read in Google Ads. Now this one is fairly new. Got recommended columns, which is for the bid strategy type or the optimization score. I don't want that. Let's start with the performance. This is where we start. Clicks, I don't need to explain, but if you do need any explanation, all you need to do is to hover the mouse on that word and you will see the description of that. The thing with these metrics, it's again quite confusing because interactions is pretty much clicks, but with different kind of ads now coming out all the time in Google, it may be that the interaction is not a click, but it could be a video view because somebody has interacted with your ad, or it could be a Gmail ad where somebody has opened it up and expanded the ad. So that's also an interaction, but they did not come through to your website. So then you just need to make sure which one you want to go with. Most of the time you just want this click, and so I'm going to just check the boxes which I believe, in my humble opinion, are the bare minimum you should have on your default interface. Then we have the cost, which is you must see all the time how much you're spending on Google. So again, that is self-explanatory. Impressions is how many times your ads have been shown on. That's the number of impressions, and you want the impressions to be as high as possible for your targeted keywords and the audience. And because if you don't have the impressions, you will not get the clicks, you will not have a click-through rate, you will not have conversion rate or cost per conversion. Nobody's coming through to your website. Interactions, engagement rate, it's entirely up to you whether you want to keep it or not. But if you are, we're just going to talk about the search campaign for the time being. So keep things extremely simple. So I wouldn't bother with these for the time being. You can keep an eye out on the invalid clicks, and you'll see that Google will automatically refund you the money for the clicks in your billing section. You don't need to see, but if you find that you are getting a lot of invalid clicks, then you need to investigate further. Definitely average cost per click, CPC, meaning cost per click. So how much you are paying every time someone clicks on your ad. CPE is the cost per engagement. You don't need to worry too much about it. CPM is the cost per 1,000 impressions. That's for a video campaign. How many dollars or pounds you are paying per 1,000 views. So that's what I said. You can have a different sets of your columns for different types of campaigns. So in that, you can, for a video campaign, I would have something like a CPM, CPV, which is the cost per view, and those kind of metrics. Then you got your average CPC over here, which is fine. Now, if you are working on a target CPA, which is the cost per acquisition, so the acquisition could be anything. It could be a lead, it could be a subscriber to your e-newsletter, it could be somebody signing up to an offer on a landing page, or whatever that call to action you have set up as a conversion. So then you can have average target CPA, or for shopping campaigns is the target ROAS, which is the return on ad spend, how much money you are getting in return when you spend $1 or £1. Views are for video views, view rate, watch time. These are all very important video, and especially this metric, which is up till what time someone viewed your or played your video up to 25, 50, 75 or 100%. If you are running a video campaign and it says over here video only, this is one of the most important metric which I always look at, because if my video is, let's say, 10 minutes, people are switching off after watching less than 25%, that means they're getting bored. The content is not engaging enough. They're not interested anymore. They're intrigued and interested at the beginning, to find out what this video is all about, but I could not hold their attention. So you need to make sure that when you are creating long form videos, that it is interesting and you are holding someone's attention for as long as possible. Obviously, not everybody will be watching your videos for the whole duration, but you want that to be as high as possible. This is for the display impressions absolute top. Sorry, this is for the search campaign as well. How many times be absolute top? I'm going to talk about that in the competitive metrics in a bit. But from this performance column, I would say for the search campaign, we've got these. CTR is the click-through rate. That's also important. I'll make sure I haven't missed any. Yeah, so these are the 3 and 6 would definitely pick up. Now, if one metric, or you want to reorganize these columns or the metrics, and if I don't want the bid strategy type, I can exit out. It will optimization come out. Rearrange and reorganize them. So first, the way I go from the top, so I want that impressions to be the first column, because without impressions nothing else happens. After the impressions, I get the click, then I have the average CPC, the cost, because clicks times average CPC would be a cost, and valid click through rate somewhere. I can, it really doesn't matter. There's no hard and fast rule as to in which order you should put these in, whichever is more comfortable. Viewability is mainly for video campaigns, so I'm not going to go in there now. This is extremely important. Conversions, cost per conversion, conversion rate. These are the 3 metrics. You got to keep an eye on these 3 metrics, because all these other ones are fine, but this is where the buck stops. This is the bottom line. I don't care if I've got a great CTR and a low CPC, or I'm getting millions of impressions, but if these 3 are not working for me, then the rest is completely irrelevant, and you will find that you will run out of cash. Got to get these conversions. Then you got lots of other ones over here as well. Conversion value over cost. This is the ROAS, the return on ad spend number. If you are running a shopping or an e-commerce store, then you must have on. All the other ones. Now, this is quite interesting over here. You've got conversions and you've got all conversion, and the same thing with cost per all conversion and all conversion rate, which is exactly the same as the top 3. So what's the difference between these 2? When you go into your conversion and when you're setting up a conversion set or a conversion action, we'll have a little check. Let me go. We'll explain. See that include in conversions, you've got to check that in, and then this is going to go under the conversion column. If you don't check and you keep it like this, now this action, this conversion is going to go under all conversion column. Now, why has Google done this, or why should you do it? It's because some actions or some actions, when someone takes on a website, they are not an actual sale or a lead. So for example, if somebody clicked a video on my website or the landing page, I want to track when 100 people come in, how many people click that video. If 30% view my video, that means 30% of the people watch it. So I want to track those micro conversions. So we have 2 kinds of conversions or goals, micro and macro, which I've covered in the past. If you don't know much about it, please go into one of the other videos and it will say micro and macro goals, and that will explain in great detail what these conversions are. Let me go back. So that's the main difference between these two. So if you don't have micro conversions, then you don't need to worry too much about it. These three are great for keeping track of the audience or the quality of the visitors when someone has come through to your website from a display campaign. They are bouncing off after a few seconds. How many people are taking micro conversions? So I want to see some activity in these columns as well, because if I get more of the good stuff or more of the good traffic, more of them are likely to convert rather than somebody coming to my site bouncing off after 5 seconds. And then we have the orders, average basket size, average order value. These are all self-explanatory e-commerce campaigns. If you want to do some estimations and projections as to how the budget will be spent, then you can use the budget simulator by going through these, checking these. Attribution, again, I don't use a lot over here. If you are a beginner and you are new, and this video is basically for beginners, don't want to confuse you too much about it, you can quite easily ignore this, and you can pretty much ignore this as well, because all you can do is you can put in the campaign type. It will tell you what type of campaign it is and your bid strategy. So whether it's a manual bid strategy or target CPA or whichever one. If you are using labels, then you can check off the label column and it will show you the. This is really important. Competitive metrics. How competitive are you in comparison to your competitors? So search impression share, search top impression share, which means in the top 4. Absolute search absolute top impression share is right at the top, right? So these three you can check it off. But what you can also do is you can also this one is quite good. Search lost top impression share by rank. That means if you are being outranked by your competitors. So a lot of questions I'm kept being sent. Oh, I've set everything up, I don't get any impressions. This is where you come and look in how competitive you are. Because if you haven't got the right bids, quality score, you are getting outranked by your competition, then you need to become really aggressive, and this is going to show you what you need to do. Don't worry about the display ones for now, because we are just talking about search impression, search campaigns. If you have got a service which is kind of like an emergency, like plumbing or breakdown recovery, roadside recovery for when somebody breaks down in the car by the roadside, plumber, I've said, dentist, you want your ads to be pretty much in the top 2, because people are in a great pain, they need urgent help, and you don't want to be at the bottom. So you want to be very aggressive, and this is where it will show you all the metrics, how good, bad your bids or your campaign is in comparison to your competitor. Then we have the call details. Phone calls will never match the actual phone calls you receive. You might see that you've got 100 over here, under this column, but you only had like 40 calls, because we need to set up a conversion in our conversion action. So the way I do call conversions is, I want a minimum of 30 seconds or 20 seconds when someone is talking to me or to one of us on the office line or on the phone. So that means it's not by mistake. When somebody clicks on the ad, registers it as a phone call, but they can just quite easily don't dial you from the phone. So just keep that into mind. Don't worry too much about that. Email. Custom columns, you can create your own custom columns if you don't find any of the other metrics over here. So you can create and build up your formula and name your columns from here. Again, this is for advanced. I would recommend if you are. Now I've got all my columns over here. I can now save it as, you can name whatever you like. Got it. Place that. And now you can see all of them in here. If I want to rearrange them, I go back into my columns and take this one to the right, or bring some column from the right to the left. And this is how you organize it. So I hope this gave you an idea as to how to set up your dashboard. You can see all your campaigns, ad groups, keywords with all the right metrics. So now I'm going to go to the comments, and now is your chance to ask any questions. So please fire away. Education Hub. How can I track conversion, purchases, or sales, as I have multiple good ad account for a single site? Is it necessary to generate conversion tracking code for each Google ad account and embed it on the site? Okay, so what I understand from your question is you've got multiple campaigns or accounts running to the same website. I would not do this, because this is against the Google's policies. You are trying to gain an unfair advantage of trying to rank your website. You will not get two ads running at the same time on Google ever. You will find it's only one in the top 4 whole page. So you might get suspended, and you don't want that. Once you get suspended, it is impossible to get back your account or to get back on Google again. So I would say shut off one of the accounts and just concentrate on one account, and then set up your conversion tracking. And if you are running multiple ad accounts, then yes, you need to set up conversion tracking on each and every account. It is completely separate. Hi, Alamgir, Sandy, William. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for all of you, in fact, for being here. It's a pleasure to host these sessions. Adam. Hi, Adam. Okay. Nice speaking to you. Yeah, likewise. It was a pleasure to speak with you too. Recently, I've noticed I'm not seeing all the actual search terms associated with every ad click. I recall seeing them before. It's something new, absolutely. Google have made some big changes. There you go. Some big changes, which a lot of people are not happy about. So what they have done is all the low volume search term queries, which do spend a lot of money and waste hard-earned, no one has got access. So we're all in the same boat over here, friend. Can't do anything about it, unfortunately. This is why you're not seeing those search terms with the low volume. So once you go into your account, you will definitely see it under notification. Well, go there and read about it. Fine, the internet is up. Then the IPL, there is IPL stands no chance, my friend. Okay, so I guess you are supporting Dhoni's team CSK. Yeah, don't worry about IPL. You need to be here. You're in the right place right now. Okay, I think that's it for today. Have anything else? Let me know. But I'm gonna carry on this week about setting up the basics, because quite often you find that something very trivial and basic you have missed out, which may have a big effect on your campaign. It's kind of like, I've referred to this before in the past. No matter how talented or big a sports person is, when you see them practicing and doing those drills before any match, be it tennis, football, cricket, whatever, you'll find those drills to be very, very simple and basic, and even a 5-year-old can do that. And sometimes you may wonder why such a great player doing such simple stuff, because all the simple and the small things has a big effect on the actual performance and the game. So the same thing which happens in Google Ads. You don't want to be making huge and massive changes all the time. Just tweak and make changes, make small amendments and changes. Do it on a regular basis, and you'll find your campaigns are performing and improving on a weekly, monthly basis. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll be here again hopefully tomorrow, same time, same place. Till then, stay safe and